Now, so in this class, what we're going to do now is we're going to try. What we have to do is you have to find the true shape of S. So when the question says find the true shape, what it wants you to do is to actually draw the true shape. So what's the actual shape? So what the true shape means is, what does it look like when you look in directly at it? So I can see here, this is my S, but I can't directly look in at it in the elevation because it's at an angle. It's also at an angle in the end elevation, but in the plan, I have this straight line here, okay? And that's going to allow me to look directly into it and project up to here where I'm going to draw out the shape. So, if you'd like to follow me now, what we're going to do is the first thing we're going to do is we're going to use sliding set squares. So, I'm going to use my two set squares. I'm going to leave the first one here on the line, parallel, making sure it's straight across the line, okay? I'm going to position the second one underneath it, okay? So just to recap on sliding set squares. First one on the line here, second one underneath it, and now what that's going to allow me to do is to roll this one back out like so, and then I'm going to be able to take the lines up straight at 90 degrees to that line, okay? So, we'll do the same thing down here. I'm going to take this line here. I've got my sliding set square underneath it. It's out of frame, you can't see it. But I'm going to roll it down like so. So this is now parallel, okay? So it's parallel. I'm going to take away my second set square and I'm going to place it on the parallel line, okay? Now what I'm going to be able to do is just project these lines or draw these lines straight up to somewhere where we have a bit of free space, which is going to be up here somewhere, okay? So let's draw this line along. Let's draw this line along. So I've taken all the lines that I can possibly take up through. Okay, that one slipped a little bit. So let's take this. Okay, now watch how I'm just able to take this parallel line here. I've got my two set squares and I'm just rolling them along, okay? Sorry, no, I'll do that again. So I'm just able to slide it along. It's called sliding set squares. Okay, now I'm going to come up here closer to the mark. This is just be extending my lines. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to extend all the lines out. Okay, so they're a little bit longer. Okay. Okay, so now I have my 4 points or my 4 lines projected up. What I want to do is I want to put a baseline in here, okay? So, this line has to be parallel to this line here, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place my first set square like so, and I'm going to place my second set square on top of it, okay? Now, watch how I've left a lot of, I'm going to roll this one down, and I'm going to make this one here parallel. See, that's parallel there? Okay, perfect, that's perfectly parallel. Now, I've got this one here, and I'm clamping it down with my hands. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide this one along. Now, I'm going to clamp down on the top one, move it over, and then clamp down on the bottom again, okay? Now, I can draw a line here that is parallel to this first line. So let's do so like so. So what that is there is that's kind of like my baseline. That's where I'm going to start, okay? So, now, we have all these lines coming up. We have to, they're kind of like our steps, okay? So, what we're going to do is we're going to get the height here. To do so, we're going to use a compass. We're going to take our compass here, and I want to find the height. Okay, I want to find the height of this. Now, there's 2 places where we can find the height, but the simplest is, beg your pardon, to find the height in elevation. Okay, so I can have this point here up in my true shape, right? And I want to find the height. So So what I do is I see this point here, I go and this is the line here in the elevation, I've followed it up, so I'm going to go from the XY line or the bottom of the elevation up. So that's going to get me my height, okay? So take that on your compass and mark it here, okay? Now, this second point here, I'm going to do the exact same thing. So I'm going to follow that up. So I see that that is the height there. So I'm going to leave my compass on that. And it's the exact same height, isn't it? Yeah. So let's bring this over. Perfect. Okay. So if we notice there's two different heights on that line. So I'm going to take the second one now. Leave my compass back here. And I'm going to take the second point from this line, okay? So that's still the same line. So there's 2 points on it. So that's what's creating our steps, okay, our stairs. So we've got, that's 1 point. That's our first point, our second point, okay? So just to draw this in a little bit heavier to get you an idea of the shape that we're drawing, okay? So we come in there. Perfect, okay? So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to follow this line. So this line here doesn't yet have any points on it. So if we go up into our elevation, we'll find that our point is here. Same height. So let's bring it here and mark it in. Okay, that's fine. Now, again on this line we see that there's two different heights. Okay, so let's take the second height like so. Now, we've got one more line to do, and that's this one here. So that's coming out here. We trace it back, up, and we see the first height we have to get is here. So we have that on our compass now, and let's mark it here. Now, let's follow it back again, and we see that our bottom line here is on the bottom. So that's going to come down to here. So I'm just going to mark that with my pencil. Right? So let's connect all those points. Okay. So that there is our true shape of S. Okay. And it was that simple. So that's our S shape there, and that's what the true